Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spurs Up Show, the best Gamecocks podcast on the internet. Today is Wednesday, November the 3rd, 2021. Today's show, folks, after a week-long hiatus, we are officially back. And, of course, it is Wednesday. We're talking Shane Beamer's Tuesday presser. Everything the Gamecocks head coach had to say ahead of this weekend's game as South Carolina returns to action off the bye week to take on the Florida Gators. Also, guys, of course, it is Wednesday. We're talking gambling, best bet for South Carolina, Florida, as well as our SEC gambling picks for Week 10 and what a packed slate of games we have this weekend, folks. It feels so good to be back, and we got a packed show here on a Wednesday, and it's all brought to you by our friends over at Upstate Movers Group. Guys, Upstate Movers Group, superior moving service. They bring care and attention their companies can't offer because they're just too busy maintaining trucks and profiting off of them instead of focusing on service. Guys, service is what separates Upstate Movers Group from the competition. They're not a trucking company. They're a moving services company, and they're also employee-owned co-op. Their movers are paid twice the industry average, and everyone on the crew is invested in your success. They have dedicated professional crew members, and they also offer black glove service. They offer end-to-end packing services, custom crating and packaging for special items, and cleaning services as well. They're founded by Greenville natives and University of South Carolina alumni, guys, so a Gamecock-owned small business. They also offer 20 years of project management moving experience, and they can offer logistics and solutions that traditional moving companies simply do not have the skills for. Guys, whether in the upstate or across the state of South Carolina, if you have any moving needs in 2021, be sure to check out our friends over at Upstate Movers Group. You can find them on social media at Upstate Movers Group. Of course, if you have any other questions, go to their website, upstatemoversgroup.com. That's upstatemoversgroup.com. Be sure to check them out and tell them Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Let's get it. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, it feels so good to be back. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Hope you're all doing well. I'm Chris Phillips, host of the Spurs Up Show, as always. Guys, appreciate you all tuning in, guys. And again, it feels so good to be back here in studio behind the mic, chatting with you all. We are officially back, and it feels good. It feels good again. Appreciate you all tuning in, guys. Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. Hope you've had a great week. I hope you enjoyed your bye week. Obviously, yours truly maximizing the time off as we were down in Orlando, Florida, going to the theme parks, hanging out, a bunch of fun stuff. Really, really good time. So again, guys, I can tell you all this. I missed you all dearly, and it feels so good to chat with you once again. I truly do. You know, it's one of those weird things where on one hand, it felt really nice to get out of the normal day-to-day grind, if you will, with the content and the podcast and the Daily Crow, and to take advantage of the time off. But on the other hand, I love the daily grind, and I love the podcast, and I love the Daily Crow, and I love each and every single one of you who's tuning in as well. And again, guys, I appreciate you all so much. I missed you dearly, and it feels so good to be back. I will say this, first things first, vacation was a massive success, guys. Had a really, really good time. Shout out my Airbnb host, by the way, Eddie. The Airbnb was incredible. The weather down in Florida was awesome. Got to go to Universal Studios, Disney World on Monday, went to Epcot, got a drink at the pavilions and all that good stuff. So again, we had a really good time. Yours truly, like I said, guys, really maximized the bye week, if you will. Of course, I try to stay in touch with you guys as much as possible on social media, making some video clips here and there. But again, it feels good. We're back in Columbia, in the studio, the podcast, the Daily Crow, the content is rolling. We are full steam ahead off the bye week. And of course, guys, it is Florida week. So again, feels really good. I know I told you guys when we departed last week, by the way, that today's show, this Wednesday show, would be our basketball preview show for both men's and women's. Now, I have actually slid that to Friday of this week, and here's why. There's a couple of reasons. Number one, I just got back from vacation after a 6.5, 7-hour drive, if you will. Got home about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon or so, and I found myself, I was like, you know what? This is really a show that I do not want to rush. I do not want to act in haste and put this thing together really quickly and, not give it our best effort and give the attention and dissect this thing the way that these basketball programs deserve. Also, in case you didn't know, of course, the women had an exhibition on Monday, but the men have an exhibition at CLA tomorrow night against Benedict. And I thought, you know what? It'd be great. Get the opportunity to go see these guys, go see this basketball team. There's a lot of new faces that we have never gotten to see on the floor. So again, I wanted to wait, go watch the guys there. We will come back to the studio after the exhibition, and then we will record that season preview show for the Friday podcast. So again, that is the reason. Of course, the official regular season begins next week as both the men's and women's team play on Tuesday. Dawn Staley's squad in Raleigh taking on NC State in a really big game at 5 o'clock. And then the men's team will be at home next Tuesday taking on USC Upstate at 7. So again, a huge big-time basketball preview show, season preview show, if you will, on Friday. And of course, guys, Friday also, we will have our normal standard prediction for the Gamecocks game this weekend against Florida. But again, wanted to keep you guys in the loop and let you know that basketball season preview show is coming, and it will be on Friday. So again, Friday is going to be an absolutely jam-packed podcast, and cannot wait for you guys to hear that. Also, just a couple quick reminders, guys. The Tin Roof Show tonight. We are live at Tin Roof, 5 to 7, taking your questions, your comments, your calls. Would love to have you guys out there. 50-cent wings, $3 drafts in the Vista. Going to be a really, really good time. Also, this Saturday, you've probably already seen the graphics on social media. The TSUS tailgate is back at Seawell, spots 93 to 96, a 7:30 kickoff. So I can tell you folks this. The tailgate is going to be legendary. I don't know how the game's going to go on Saturday night, but the tailgate as a whole is going to be absolutely freaking legendary. I cannot wait to party with all of you, all the Big Cock Club members and the rowdy Gamecocks across the state of South Carolina that come in town for that game. Going to be a really, really good time. But again, we're spots 93 to 96 with kickoff being at 7:30. My crew's probably going to get out there at noon, guys. You guys know, if you've been out there before, my crew gets rowdy, so we'll be out there early, often, doing the damn thing. Would love to see each and every single one of you out there. So again, Seawells spots 93 to 96. The TSUS tailgate returns in grand fashion. And one last thing before we dive into the show, guys, watch party for next weekend. It's never too early to look ahead. Next weekend for the South Carolina, Missouri game, we will be throwing our final watch party at Carolina Ale House for the 2021 football season. We will be at the Carolina Ale House location in Fort Mill. So all my Charlotte Gamecocks, all the folks up in that area, we're coming to you. Carolina Ale House, Fort Mill, of course, kickoff is at 4 o'clock. So we'll probably be in that location probably around, 2:30 or so, something like that. We'll get there in plenty of time, obviously. But again, Carolina Ale House, Fort Mill next weekend for the South Carolina, Missouri game. Going to be a really, really good time, and looking forward to hanging with a bunch of great Gamecocks in that part of the state, because again, of course, Charlotte, one of the biggest hubs for South Carolina alumni. Of course, I lived in Charlotte for 4 years, have a lot of buddies up that way. So again, going to be a really, really good time. That's the Carolina Ale House location in Fort Mill. Would love to have you guys out there for that. Again, folks, it's funny how, they say whenever you're in a relationship or just in general, that distance makes the heart grow fonder. I believe that's the slogan and the saying. And, man, it's one of those things you really do appreciate how much you enjoy doing something and how passionate you are about it when you take a step away from it. Of course, again, we have not dropped a podcast, done the Daily Crow, anything like that since last Wednesday. And, yours truly, I missed it. I was sitting there at Disney on Monday like, man, I am itching to get back in the studio and to record a show. So again, feels good. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into everything. And of course, guys, we're starting with Shane Beamer's Tuesday press conference. Yours truly was listening to this in the car on the way back from Orlando, Florida. Some things definitely stood out to me from Shane Beamer's media availability. First things first is this. Coach Beamer continues to plead to the Carolina fan base to show up, show out, be loud, be rowdy. And listen, I understand that is irking some fans and is annoying some fans, and people are looking at it as coach speak, or he needs to worry about putting a good product in the field. Guys, I hear where fans are coming from, because I don't think fans want to be demanded of anything, especially when the product is not great. But you do have to understand where he's coming from. And again, they've gone to College Station. They've gone to Sanford Stadium. They've been to some very raucous environments. So he understands the type of impact a great crowd can have. Now, I'll say this, guys. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do with their money. I'm not in anybody's wallet, anybody's purse, nothing like that. Hey, you don't want to go to the game? That's totally fine. But it's going to be a damn shame, in my opinion, because yours truly will be in the building. It's going to be a damn shame if we have a very suspect crowd. Guys, it is a night game at Williams-Brice Stadium against an SEC East rival. What more do I need to say? As Shane Beamer said in his Tuesday presser yesterday, guys, if you can't get fired up for this one, there's nothing I can do for you. I don't know what else to tell you. Again, the line is what it is. We'll talk about that in just a second. The realities of this football team are what they are. But I guess have some perspective, guys. Coming off of the bye week, hey, we get to watch Gamecocks football under the lights once again. I'm looking forward to that truth. Hey, we get to tailgate all day. Why not? Beers will be deleted. Bad day to be a Busch Latte. Something else from what Shane Beamer talked about, and he continues to harp on this, guys, over and over and over and again. And I know it's something that fans, number one, don't like to hear. They don't like to hear him say it. They don't like to hear me say it. And they almost don't want to accept it. But I think Shane Beamer this season has been very open about the realities of this roster. And again, we've only got 4 games to go. You sort of just are what you are right now. And that's something, guys, and I'm going to make the point probably on social media today as well. That's something very intriguing going this game that I think has really stood out to me, because it's very popular right now to say that, oh, the Gamecocks have regressed this season. They've gotten worse. They've gotten worse. And on one hand, it's like, okay, I understand where you're coming from, what you're saying, but have they really? Has this football team really regressed this season? Because take away the EIU game. That was like a glorified spring game. Week 2, you beat East Carolina by a last-second field goal in a game that you only scored 1 offensive touchdown. I feel like, guys, this team, for the most part, has been who it has been the entire year. Like, again, I understand it's fun to play along with this narrative of, oh, this team's gotten worse week to week. I think this team kind of just is who it is. And I think if you listen to Shane Beamer and you really read between the lines, he is very open and honest about, hey, they're coaching their tails off. And again, I'm not taking any of the blame off of Shane Beamer. And of course, like Marcus Satterfield and these guys, hey, they're paid the big bucks to produce, to put up numbers, and to put players in the best possible position to be successful. They got to be better too. But if you read between the lines and you really listen to what Shane Beamer is saying, guys, he's very open about the challenges of this roster. And again, I know fans do not like to hear that. Fans just simply do not want to hear, hey, our roster is not good enough. They just don't want to hear that. They don't want to accept that. They don't want to hear the roster's not good enough. And I understand what people on social media have said. I understand what a guy like Savell Newton has said. I've seen all kinds of different opinions, guys, and I respect every single one of them. But to pretend like this roster is, I think it's about a 4-4 roster. I really do. And if this team does somehow finish 6-6, you probably got the most out of this bunch of guys. And hey, I'll tell you this, without your starting quarterback, this is probably not even a 6-6. This is probably more of a 4-8 type of roster. I mean, if I would have known Luke Doty would have been injured in the preseason for as long as he was, and I probably would have picked this team, guys, to go 3-9. So I think if you listen to Shane Beamer, he continues, he talked about the Texas A&M game. He said, hey, we didn't coach well, but we got to win more one-on-one battles. We got to have players make plays. And I think Shane Beamer, shocker, understands coaches call plays, but players make plays. And if you don't have players that can make plays, it's going to be really tough for you to win ball games. Again, I hate to put it all on the roster because there are some talented football players in this team, but I think just top to bottom, and you look at the issues and deficiencies you are facing as a whole, I think he understands the challenge. I really, really do, guys. And from things I've heard from behind closed doors about how he feels about the roster, I think 4-4 is about right where I think they're actually probably pretty giddy about being 4-4 at this point, if you want my honest opinion. So anyways, I think that's really interesting how Shane Beamer continues. I don't think he's throwing anybody under the bus, but I think he's being very honest, guys. I think he has to keep expectations in check. He's not going to sit here and go out here week after week after week and say, well, we've got a fantastic roster and we got NFL caliber players over the field. Well, then it's like, well, then why are you 4-4? But he's got to sort of dance around that and say, hey, our roster's not great, right? We're not winning one-on-one matchups. We can call whatever play we want. But if we can't win a one-on-one matchup, what difference does it make? If we have a great play called, but we can't win a one-on-one matchup, then what difference does it make? I think it's been interesting to hear Shane Beamer all season long kind of hint at that. On that note, it leads me to this, guys. And again, I'm not even sure this is a Tuesday presser takeaway, but it's just a takeaway. My question is this. Do fans trust Shane Beamer anymore? Do fans trust Shane Beamer? And I'll tell you this. I'll preface it with this. I think for the most part, yes. I think people do. I think for the most part, again, the rational fans are not going to be the loud ones, okay? They're not going to. The level-headed fans are not going to be the loud ones. The people who say, hey, it's year one. We're not going to know anything for 3 or 4 years. We're going to give him time to build. Those people are not going to be the loud ones. But there's a very vocal part of the fan base that I don't know if they trust Shane Beamer or not. Just because he hasn't fired Marcus Satterfield yet, I don't even know if they trust him. I don't know if they trust him. If you don't trust him, why'd you hire him in the first place? I think a lot of people have shown their true colors in the sense of they didn't want this guy to begin with. I don't think fans wanted this guy to begin with. Some fans did. And those are the ones who have shown their ass on social media constantly day after day after day. And hey, that's your right. That's your opinion. And you might be right. Shane Beamer might be a bum. He might not be very good. You might be right. But it's just too early to tell. Again, I'm wondering what the trust level is from the Gamecocks fan base with Shane Beamer. Of course, Shane talked about the quarterback battle. Who's going to get the start? Guys, again, I will be floored if Zeb Nolan is your starting quarterback. I think it's going to be Jason Brown. Obviously, Coach Beamer talking a lot about Jason Brown and what he brings to the table and, made it sound like that Zeb Nolan did practice on Tuesday. I don't see it happening. I think Shane has already shown this season. He's all about gamesmanship, and he's going to try to keep Florida on their toes and keep them guessing. I will be shocked if Zeb Nolan takes the field on Saturday. I'll just leave it at that. Something else, Shane, we were talking about getting E.J. Jenkins involved, and that's something fans were paying very close attention to. I think we all agree this guy needs more reps. He needs more looks. You're looking so desperately to find guys who can make plays for you on the offensive side. Get a guy like E.J. Jenkins involved. I feel like that's a no-brainer at this point. Final big takeaway, guys, is this. And again, I'm not even really sure this is a takeaway from the Tuesday presser. But again, guys, we haven't talked in a week. So I've had a lot of time to think about a lot of things. The temperature of the fan base coming out of the bye week. Because you'd think the bye week was going to do a lot of people a lot of good, right? And sort of calm the nerves and get people re-energized and excited again for Gamecocks football. I don't know that's really the case. From what I've seen on social media, there are a lot of people that think we're going to get killed. 18.5 is not enough. You should make it Florida minus 30 and this, that, and whatever. And especially with how bad Florida looked over the weekend, I guess I'm surprised in a way. I'm surprised at some of the negativity and the pessimism. On the other hand, though, after seeing what happened in College Station and just how that game went about, I get it. So this is going to be a very interesting week. Of course, guys, tomorrow we'll break down the game. We'll preview the game. We'll give top storylines, all that good stuff. Then, of course, Friday, outside of basketball, we're going to talk our prediction, all that good stuff, and get into the game on Saturday. But the overall temperature of the fan base has been one very interesting to read because I think it's a mixed bag. I think there are some fans that are definitely excited to get to the tailgate and get back in Willie B. I think there are a lot that think we're going to get crushed. I don't know. It's a very interesting, and also, again, coming off that Texas A&M game, there is a strangely large number of folks that, again, are still so down and out in regards to Gamecocks athletics and just talking Ray Tanner and the mistakes made. And it's interesting. It's interesting. Again, if there's a therapist out there that wants to sponsor USC football or to sponsor the athletic department, you could probably make or have them sponsor you. However that would work, you'd probably make a lot of money because there are a lot of Gamecock fans out there just looking at social media. There's a lot of Gamecock fans out there that need personal therapists. So if you're out there, great opportunity for you to make some cash. But it's been interesting. It's been interesting trying to read the fan base of the bye week. And, I know we could all use a positive performance from this team on Saturday. All right, with that being said, guys, it is Wednesday. It is hump day. We are talking gambling, best bet for South Carolina football, as well as the SEC gambling picks for Week 10. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into that best bet for the Gamecocks, taking on the Gators. Florida, an 18.5-point favorite in this one, over-under set at 52.5. And guys, I'll tell you this, because there's a lot of you out there saying, oh my God, 18.5 is not enough. It should have opened up at 24, 27, blah, 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 whatever. I'll be honest. I thought this line was going to open up as South Carolina is like a 12-point underdog, 12 or 13 maybe. So when I first saw it at 19, I was a little surprised. I was a little surprised the line was that big, because you look at Florida and all the turmoil going on in Gainesville right now. I mean, things are a complete mess with Dan Mullen and the quarterback position and the way their season's just gone this year. And of course, I know it was against Georgia, but they got absolutely shellacked against the Dogs. So what is the overall morale of their football team? And then, of course, on the South Carolina side, you're at home, you're at night, you're coming off a bye week, right? So I was surprised the line was quite that big. With that being said, though, when I take a look at this game from the betting side of things, I see that 18.5 number. I would not touch it. Here's the reason why. Because I could certainly see South Carolina coming out, playing inspired football, playing their best football coming out of the bye week, and covering that spread with ease. But you also have to understand what this team is up against. Again, Jason Brown is most likely going to get the start at quarterback. And let me first say this, guys, because, again, I'm not here to slander the kid. I'm not here to knock the kid. But the realities are this: St. Francis is not the SEC. And so Jason Brown will get a very stern test. Although Florida doesn't have a great defense, Florida's not a great football team, they're still Florida. And they still have talent all over the field. When you factor that in, you factor in just the pure struggles of the offensive line and the way this football team has struggled as a whole. If this team comes out and plays sloppy football and is penalized and turns the ball over, and God forbid, especially if we see what we saw in College Station with special teams blunders and stuff like that, I could see Florida running away with this thing. So there's too much uncertainty for me around the number itself. So I'm leaving 18.5 alone. But guys, there's a one play in this game, and it is a complete no-brainer. And that is the total. And that is under the total, 52.5. Guys, I just don't see it. And again, I think the Gamecocks defense will fight, scratch, and claw. They'll battle their tails off. Again, there's a lot of uncertainty around the quarterback position in Gainesville. I think J.J. Nigbari, that offensive line, that entire defense can take advantage. But how is South Carolina going to score, guys? I mean, what tells any of us this is the game? The Gamecocks score 24, 27, 31 points. I mean, what tells you that's going to be the case? I just have a hard time believing it. So again, for that reason, I think your defense does fight. I don't think Florida's going to have some offensive explosion against you. And I think for that reason, guys, the under to me is the no-brainer play in this game. Under 52.5 for South Carolina, Florida, guys. Hammer it, cash it. Hey, life's too short to play the under. No, says I. Under 52.5 for Carolina, Florida. It is the no-brainer pick in this ball game. All right, guys, with that being said, we're still talking gambling. SEC gambling picks for a packed Week 10 slate. And guys, listen to me right now. If you are not playing with Prize Picks, you are doing yourself a disservice. Guys, the most incredible Prize Picks win for yours truly over the weekend. Saturday, as you probably all saw, I had the under for Anthony Richardson of Florida passing yards against Georgia. That was a no-brainer play against that elite defense. So that one hits, right? And I had to hit 2 of 3 of these picks. So I hit that one. I missed Bijan Robinson for Texas I picked over the rushing total. Missed that one. My last play I had to hit, Dansby Swanson over under half a total base. All he had to do was get on, because yours truly took the over. And all Dansby does is hit a game-tying bomb late in the ball game. and we celebrated winning $125. So again, thank you, Dansby Swanson, for putting $125 and really paying for my day at Epcot, by the way. That was incredible. But again, guys, Prize Picks. If you're not playing with Prize Picks, you are missing out. So many of our listeners, so many of the fans of the Spurs Up Show are making money with Prize Picks. Guys, you go there right now, prizepicks.com, and or download the app. Use the promo code TSUS at sign up. You're going to receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100. So guys, again, that means in case you don't know, when you sign up, you put in that promo code TSUS, you put in $100. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to give you $100 of free play. Free money. Who doesn't love free money, guys? Prize Picks is the simplest fantasy game on the market focused around prop total entries. Here's how it works. You pick 2 to 5 players, and you can win up to 10 times on any entry. Guys, Prize Picks has no sharks, optimizers, or mass multi-entry. It's just you against the projection. Prize Picks also allows mixed sport entries, so you can take, for example, the over on LeBron, parlayed with the under on Mahomes, parlayed with the over on Jason Brown, or whatever you want to do. What makes Prize Picks so cool, by the way, guys, they have college football, and there's literally no other gambling site out there that has that. Prize Picks also has a slick, easy-to-use mobile app, both on the App Store and Google Play. They're also rated 4.8 stars in the App Store with rave reviews. Again, guys, it's a no-brainer. Prize Picks is the way to go. Again, so many of our listeners have been cashing in with our friends at Prize Picks. So again, that's prizepicks.com, and or go download the Prize Picks app. And when you sign up, use the promo code TSUS at sign up to receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100. And again, guys, we appreciate our friends at Prize Picks. And if you're not playing, you're just missing out on making great money. I know there's many of you out there that could use some extra bucks, some extra Christmas change. By the way, we're coming up on the Christmas season. Why not play with our friends at Prize Picks, make that money? So again, prizepicks.com, and or download the app. Use the promo code TSUS when you sign up. All right, guys, like I said, week 10, we got a packed slate of games in the SEC. We'll start in Athens, Georgia. The Dogs are unbeatable, in my opinion, guys, but they take on the Missouri Tigers this weekend. Georgia, a 38-point favorite. The over-under sit at 59.5. Guys, how bad is Mizzou, where the spread is 38? I simply can't touch a 38-point spread. I'm going with the total. I've told you guys this before. The under in every Georgia game is the play. Under 59.5. That feels like stealing in my mind. So again, under 59.5, not 39.5, under 59.5, Georgia, Mizzou, no-brainer, hammer it. Maybe my favorite play of the weekend. Here's a really interesting one. Ole Miss taking on Liberty. Hugh Freeze is going back to Oxford, where he was the head coach. Ole Miss, though, just an 8.5-point favorite. The over-under set at 67.5. And this line has actually dropped. Ole Miss was 9.5. Now they're 8.5. I just don't see it, guys. Liberty does not have the talent to hold up to Ole Miss. I don't give a damn who their head coach is. They don't have SEC talent. Give me Ole Miss. They will pound Hugh Freeze. They want to make a point. Lane Kiffin wants to make a point. Ole Miss minus 8.5. It is a no-brainer in that one. Texas A&M against Auburn. A&M a 4.5-point favorite. The over-under set at 49. And I missed badly, by the way, on the Ole Miss-Auburn game. Auburn looks like the real deal. This game, though, in College Station, I went back and forth. Forget the line. Give me the total. Over 49. I know Bo Nix is on the road, but I think points are scored in this one. Over 49 to play in College Station. Guys, Arkansas against Mississippi State. The Hogs are a 5-point favorite. Over under set at 55.5. Guys, I'm finding myself on the totals a lot this weekend. Arkansas, after that hot start, has been just kind of like, it's hard to figure them out. Mississippi State, all of a sudden, is coming out of nowhere. Their resurgence beating Kentucky last weekend. Again, I like the over in this game. Mike Leach, I think Arkansas will get things going offensively. The over 55.5. I love the total. Hammer the over. Hammer the over when the Hogs take on the Dogs. Bama against LSU. Bama is a 28.5-point favorite. How the mighty have fallen in Baton Rouge. The over under set at 66. Guys, I know this is going to sound crazy. Again, no one has ever gotten rich betting against Alabama. I'm not doing it this time. The spread's insane. But I'm taking Bama to cover it. 28.5. I'm laying the number with the Tide. I think they cover it. The hook might get us. but there's just no other way I can go in this one. Give me Alabama to roll at home, minus 28.5. Guys, final game of the weekend, Kentucky taking on the Tennessee Volunteers. UK a 2-point favor, over-under set at 57. And guys, this is another one. I went back and forth on this one because on one hand, I think Kentucky with Mark Stoops at home, they're coming off that tough loss against Mississippi State. They'll be locked in. They need the W. On the other side, Tennessee historically has had their way with Kentucky. I know last year, obviously, Kentucky got the much better of Jeremy Pruitt's squad, but historically, Tennessee's done very well against Kentucky. Who do I trust more? The Kentucky Wildcats under Mark Stoops or this Tennessee team under Josh Heupel? At home, at night, I think Kentucky will be desperate. I got to go with the Cats here. Lay in the 2 points. I think they do bounce back, and I think they get the win over the Tennessee Volunteers. So, again, guys, give me UK -2 in this game, which, by the way, guys, I didn't even tell you how I did last week. 1-3 over the weekend. We are 36-33-1 overall. Our best bet still remains at 4-4. We're 4-4 in our best bet now. 36-33-1 overall. So again, a packed slate of games. I'm feeling good coming off a vacation. We're back in the fold. We're back on the saddle. I think we're going to absolutely break the bookie this weekend. Again, guys, just a quick reminder, best bet, South Carolina, Florida, under 52.5. I think that one's just a no-brainer. How is South going to score enough to contribute to that total and hit the over? I just don't see it happening. So again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. And also, guys, thank you for your continued love and support, because without you guys, there's no way I could have gone on a vacation and enjoyed the bye week the way we did. You guys continue to interact, and all the DMs and the messages, everybody saying, hey, missed the podcast, missed the content, missed the Daily Crow, means the absolute world. And you guys, without you guys, I'm truly passionate about what I do. I love what I do. I love doing the Spurs Up Show and creating content and being in a constant creative state. But if it wasn't for you guys and your continued love and support and interaction and just showing the love, the way you guys rock with us, man, it's really cool and it's really fulfilling, and it's very humbling to know that we have that type of positive impact on people. So again, guys, thank you all so much. Truly do appreciate it. Very happy, very excited to be back, guys. Like I said, normal schedule this week. Of course, you're hearing the podcast right now, Daily Crow through the week. Our basketball season preview show will be on Friday. So stay tuned to that. I'm very excited to talk Gamecocks basketball because there are a lot, and I mean a lot of storylines on both the men's and women's side as we get this thing going on the hardwood. Again, folks, hey, appreciate you all tuning in. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.